Hello, everyone. Happy autumn equinox to those of us in the northern hemisphere, and happy spring to those who are in the southern. So, I wanted to hop on here. I love the equinoxes. I love the transformation and change that happens with this time period. Consistently, I look back and notice how much changes for me during this transition to fall, and I'm sure many people resonate with this. And so I just wanted to come on here, channel, intuitively talk about what I have going on, what comes to me, and go from there. So, historically, for me, the change from late summer to fall has been one of such growth. And I could pinpoint and be like, oh, well, every point in my life, there's such growth. But started off with becoming a massage therapist 11 years ago to making this spontaneous move back home, although it wasn't a place I ever thought I wanted to go. Um, and now I'm here still and I love it and I'm thriving, to big events that I have planned now, and just everything, all the other moments in between, these huge things. So, if you're noticing that big awarenesses are coming, beautiful. It's a great time of year for that, right? Often we think, it's time to harvest our crops, look at all this work we've been doing and gather up and that bounty. But you might be like me, and it's when things really start to hit overdrive and everything's aligning and beautiful things happen and transition. So let me know in the comments, what kind of person are you? Are you more of the rest now, or are you like me, you rest in the summer? Where are you? Or maybe you like to rest in winter or spring. There is no right or wrong, right? There is no, I have to be doing, oh, it's fall, I have to be doing this. Absolutely not. You don't have to be doing anything. You just being is perfect. It is absolutely perfect. Bringing awareness to all that you're already doing helps you become more spacious. And by that, I mean, we can be contracted, right? You know how to contract a muscle. Well, the opposite of that is being spacious, realizing all that you are, realizing how perfect you are, realizing that you are everywhere and anywhere at every one point in time. So I'm jumping to what I have coming up now. There are lots of secret things in the works. Most don't have any idea about some of them right now. A few of my people from BioTouch have an inkling from our monthly meeting of what's going on. And if that sounds exciting, you want to check out our monthly meetings, I would love to have you there. But for now, the things that I am openly speaking about into this transition, I just love fall. Do you love fall? Isn't it just so fun to see, especially where I live? The leaves get to change, the air changes. Yesterday it was 80 and today it was 60, and most people will be like, I'm like, yes, 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 yes. And there's a good chance tomorrow will be 70 and then 80 again, and that's okay, but we got to embrace this change. I got to bust out my sweaters and embrace them. And that's my invitation to you as well. You can have either side of the coin, right? It can be, I have to get through this. That feels heavy, like you're walking through quicksand, or I get to go through this. I get to see all these beautiful changes, right? So often we are afraid of change, and yet it's always happening. So that's like we're denying a part of ourselves, because we are, from moment to moment, we get to decide who we are, which is so beautiful and so powerful, because then in that moment you can realize, I am everything. And I'm going to put my attention of where I want it to be. Where do I want to focus and manifest? Since I am manifesting every single element of my life. And so are you. You are absolutely manifesting every single thing in your life. So often we like to be like, oh, I got that promotion. I manifested that. Or this good thing, because that's applying judgment. That's why I put it in air quotes. I manifested. Well, everything just simply is. And then we, as human, apply that judgment. And I say that without there being judgment in there, right? It is no good or bad or wrong or right. It just is. And we get to see what feels effortless, what feels like, yeah, I want to be here. This is how I want to do things. This is how I want to work. This is how I want to play. This is how I want to experience everything you're experiencing. You simply get to manifest everything. Everything. And to that point, since I'm being pointed this way, can we please, please stop saying good vibes, right? That is applying judgment. Yes, good vibes might be better than bad vibes, right? But all vibes, all vibrations simply are. We bring in those vibrations, right? We interpret them, and then we apply the judgment. When we say good versus bad, wrong versus right, that is putting a limit. It is putting a limit on the limitlessness that we can be. Yes, we have this physical limit, right? We have this body that can do what this body does. But we are also the spirit that has no limits. It has no walls. It has no restrictions. So when you put a word like good or bad, that is adding a limit. Just like when you put a word, because so often we apply it like high vibrations. Well, if you ask anyone, is high vibrations good? They're most likely going to say, yeah, high is good. Well, then that means that low is bad. But we need the whole spectrum. We absolutely need the whole spectrum. That's why we come to Earth, right? To experience that whole spectrum. So when we're low, it does not have to be a bad thing. It does not have to be wrong. When you look at how a wave of sound goes, there will always be high and there will always be low. Just when you look at tones, right? You have the high tones and the low tones. No one goes to the low tones like, ooh, you're wrong. Or if you sing low, you're wrong. No, those are all needed to hear the whole spectrum. So when you say good and you say bad vibes, that's placing judgment. That's placing a limit. Even when you say, and this might be unpopular for me to say, but I'm sick of it. I'm sick of no one else. Well, no, I'm sick of the judgment that is being placed because it is such a standard thing in our society to place judgment when things don't need to have judgment. So you can say, oh, I'm in a high vibration right now. Well, let's look at that. And what does that actually mean? For me, I compare when I'm contracted, right? And when I'm feeling open and spacious. Now, when I'm contracted, that doesn't mean it's bad, right? We contract a muscle to strengthen it, just like we go through things to learn from them, right? Everything is happening for us. Everything is simply happening. When we're in the victim, which it's an intense word, right? There is a lot of energy behind that word. But when we're in the victim state of things are happening to us, especially people like to say, oh, all these bad things keep happening to me. Well, maybe you can breathe into that. Maybe you can see, even if it's just one little thing, if it's one tiny little thing, oh, I did think of this as bad, but now I see, I learned, I grew, I became more spacious in that moment after experiencing that thing that I manifested for myself, right? We manifest everything. I've had people ask like, oh, well, can't we not force anything else on anyone else? It's not forcing. You manifesting a relationship with someone, you manifesting every moment of your day is not forcing anyone else to do something, because they are also manifesting. You have soul contracts with each other to grow on these certain things, and they are beautiful. And sometimes people like to say they are bad or they hurt me. But I invite you to see that all of these things happen for a reason. They absolutely are in divine light. They are here to help. They are here to grow, because we are ever growing. We are absolutely ever growing. So just with my last night experience, this is a great way to think or explanation of it. Last night, I was feeling, oh no, and I had this brief moment of, oh no, I'm not good enough. So I have this big event coming, and I was sent the contract, and I was like, there's a reason I never went into corporate. I have these limits. I have these. And then I was like, oh, I'm being so hard on myself. I am looking through these of the lens of limits, right? I know in my relaxed state, my dyslexia is amazing. If nothing else, it adds a little bit of humor when we can all be a little bit more playful. My ADD adds. It absolutely adds, right? When I'm looking over here and I'm like, oh, that is shiny. And that makes me happy, right? I'm looking at this chandelier that I love. It makes me happy. That's beautiful. That's me being my authentic self. That's me showing up as my authentic self. And for so long, I denied that. And I was depressed. And I had those moments. I once slept for 5 days, right? Like actually slept to heal. But I just had to retract, realize, where am I and what am I doing? I can look back on that now. In the time, I was like, what? I lost a whole week. So last night, I had that moment of, I'm not good enough. And that's okay, right? Because I quickly then had the realization, like, oh, this doesn't feel good in me. I'm going to say it out loud. And then my husband got to say, well, she wouldn't do something that, it looks okay. Like, she wouldn't do something in the contract to, right? You can follow your intuition. And I was like, all right, get up and move. Get up and move, because sitting here looking at this contract is doing nothing. So I got up and moved, and I went and played with my website a little bit and realized how perfect I already am, because we're all perfect. And then when I felt excited about it again, I reopened it. I looked at that contract and I was like, oh, okay, I get what this is. I get what I'm supposed to be looking at here. It's all clearly spelled out. I had that, oh no moment. I can't do this. That's okay. I then had my realization of, I can't do this in this moment, but there's a moment coming that I can. So that is what I think following your intuition is, right? You're gonna still have these obstacles come. You're going to have things that present themselves where you get to decide, is this for me right now? Do I want to give this a little bit more space? How can I play in this moment? Or is this just simply not for me? And all of those answers have no judgment, and all of them are beautiful and spacious, right? If you choose to come at it in a spacious feeling. So I know that was a beautiful, what I call a beautiful ADD train, right? All kind of over the place, all just being intuitively guided to talk about the things that I see so many people contracting about. Some would say struggling about or struggling through, but they're contracting on, like, oh, there has to be one right answer. There are 100 million answers. There are more than 100 million answers. And all of them are perfect. And all of them you apply. How do they affect me? How am I going to look at this? You get that moment. So my nose is starting to get itchy. It's time to get going. But I do want to say, because I know I have a lot of exciting things, and there are a few things that are out there that I am openly talking about and, you know, shouting from the mountaintops, singing from the mountaintops, because let's be honest, I'm so excited, and I hope you will join me if you can. So I have, right now, I'm right in the middle of our online summit, Channeling Mediumship Intuition. Oh my, there's a few more days, so if you want to join us. Upcoming in October 22nd in Vernon Hills, Illinois, we're putting together this beautiful market. It is called the Crescent Moon Market and drop-in workshops. So the market is vendors passionate, these business owners passionate about what they do, sharing it with the community. And then the workshops are people that are sharing their craft, right? So as a witch, I think of craft as everything. Everything is your craft. So if you want to say it's your trade, or an example would be like sound healing, right? That will be a part of it. Pendulums, learning how to use them, that's a part of it. All of these beautiful things, they are sharing their craft. And I'm so excited because so often I hear, like, oh, I really want to do that, but I don't know if I can, or I don't know if it's for me, or oh, it's such a commitment, or that price point, right? Those are all limits. Those are all limits we place to be like, oh, well, this isn't for me right now, but I'm going to give you this excuse so that I don't look like I'm trying to hurt your feelings. And let's be honest, we don't have to do any of that anymore. If it doesn't resonate with you, you can simply say, it's not for me at this time. That's completely okay. But I'm making this as effortless as possible for everyone. So they are right in the same place. They are completely free. The workshops, the market, all completely free. Of course, in the market, people will be selling their services and their arts and their what they're passionate about. We have jewelry, we have crystals, all those things. We have body scrubs, all these amazing things. They're of course going to be selling it. I'm not going to ask them to give it away for free. No one would expect that, right? But you can come to the market and explore for free. There'll be fun activities, and then the workshops. All of them are free. So if you drop in for just one, that's why it has that name, drop in. Beautiful. If you want to come for the whole day and just experience it, or come and go as you please, all of these and 100 million different things are the answer. So you get to find what's right for you. And then in November, we have a Deep Roots Intuition Retreat coming up. So myself and Allison Sutter are putting together this beautiful retreat. It's in Galena, Illinois. It is the cutest town. It's the first place I got a training. Well, I guess I learned technically before that, but really connected in and saw the allness that sound healing is. And I love the energy there. I have roots there from my family, and I'm just excited for people to come together. We're having up to 11 people. If this is something that speaks to you, there are there are a total of 5 rooms. They are not all available still. But so 5 guests will be staying in the house. We'll be in that environment of learning and growing and healing in this beautiful, safe space together. We'll be exploring. There's so much there. You can go ahead and check it out. All the things I'm talking about, of course, are on my website, but they're all fun and exciting. So if you get this, I want to look into that. Even if it's not for right now, follow that excitement, I hope. Keep showing up here or however you want to connect. Because if you're still listening at this point, there's some kind of connection already there. So I thank you all for your time. Those are the 2 things that I'm ready to share. There are lots brewing and in the works. There are also, I guess I should also say, because I'm really excited about these 2, I have started a Crescent Moon Intuition Circle. So that is local to the northern suburbs of Chicago. Where we get together and we connect and we grow in this space together. It happens twice a month. It's a beautiful thing. Again, if you're in the area, join us. Even if you have no idea what it's about, if it feels exciting, follow that intuition. Or if any of these things are speaking to you and you're not in the area and you're like, oh, I just want to experience them, I do travel. So connect. I actually have an event coming up in Tucson. So that's all on my website as well. A collective healing gathering. So check that out. It's going to be everything I'm passionate about in one. So I have biotouch, I have sound healing, we have movement, we have all things intuition and channeling and mediumship. All of it is going to be there so that we can meet everyone that comes exactly where they're at. And when I say we, I am simply talking about the collective consciousness because that's what I like to connect into. That's where I feel my most at home when I am speaking as far as channeling and mediumship. That is straight to the point, right on the head. So yeah, that's why I say we when I'm talking about things that I am doing by myself. Hopefully that doesn't come off as too crazy, but if it does, hopefully it's your kind of crazy because I know it's mine. So much love to you all. Once again, happy fall, happy spring. If you're in the southern hemisphere, embrace this change if you want to. If it doesn't feel effortless, then let it go. Much love to you all. Aloha.